Hey y'all, Brother Zygos here. On Halloween, October 31st, year of 2020 of our Lord. Full moon today, just happened a few hours ago, about 8 hours ago I think. Blue moon too, which means not really a phenomenon, but that there was 2 full moons in this month in October. That's what a blue moon is. So it's more just about calculation of time, I guess, but pretty rare. Halloween full moon and a blue moon. And things are going okay, so out there some ways, and other ways not. Like always, a time of division and polarization, stress, a lot of stress, but also on the other side, a lot of good feelings. At least in my life, I'm having my heavy Libra energy, I guess, is really coming out right now with all these squares, with the cardinal squares, with Mars and Aries and Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto and Capricorn. So yeah, a lot of stress, but also a lot of breakthroughs. Yeah, crazy time. A lot on the line right now with this election, and it's just like, I mean, I've never thought that it would come to this. I always thought that two parties were the same, and I think they were in a lot of ways. But there's a definite division now, all due to Donald Trump, because he's not really a two-party guy. He doesn't really represent the Republicans or anything. I mean, he may represent a brand of globalism or even Zionism if you want to go there, but it's not the brand that the corporatists around the world, the technocracy, tech giants, and the pharmaceuticals want. He's got a different brand, and so for that reason, I think he's like, I don't know, he's got some energy backing him up that is, and every time that this globalist agenda, this political agenda goes after him, like, it seems like it blows up in their face, and I think that's going to happen again. But unfortunately, on Tuesday, November 2nd, or 3rd, November 3rd, 2020, I think it's going to blow up in all of our faces a little bit, and there's not going to be really, it's going to affect everybody, obviously, because we got a bunch of psychotic people out there with Trump derangement syndrome, and I mean, that is if Trump wins. I mean, who knows? I mean, I think he is going to, but if not, I mean, I think it's gonna get even hairier in the long run. Maybe not in the short term, but in the long run, it's definitely gonna get hairier. Because I think if Donald Trump wins, it's gonna bring down the whole house of cards of the tech monopoly, the media monopoly, and the pharmaceutical. It's all gonna come. I think it has to come tumbling down. I mean, I don't think there's any way around it with it. They've put all their cards into this this pandemic. So and if nothing else, Trump has to win so that these corporate authoritarian fascist systems will just be forced to, I don't know, like, I don't know if they'll be forced to anything, but I think they won't have any energy left. They'll have nothing left. I mean, were they gonna there's like no, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it's the only option to, like, is a Donald Trump presidency to, like, stop this wave of order followers and this wave of non-thinking authoritarians. It's like and these people they're gonna fall. Their brains are gonna fall, and they're gonna, like, for the fact that someone that they've been brainwashed in the media, the 2 minutes hate has like made them go so insane and so enrage their system, because I think they don't have, they're projecting all their blame because they haven't done the internal work of self-discovery, of self-evaluation. They haven't dealt with their demons, and as a result, they want someone else to blame everything on. They want someone else to protect them, whether that's Bill Gates or a politician. You know, I don't want Donald Trump to protect me. I want Donald Trump to stay out of my life and to make sure that, you know, the Constitution is upheld. As flawed as all the founding fathers who wrote it may have been, the Constitution is, I mean, it is like a divine document in a lot of ways. And, you know, there's a lot of theories that it's, you know, there's, you know, the Freemasonic system behind it is a scam too, but it's held up, you know, it's held up. Freedom of speech, you know, First Amendment, it's golden, you know. It's changed the world, it's changed the common man, the rights of the common man, and to have more say in their reality and their future. And now now we've gotten a little bit lazy, and we've allowed that freedom of speech to be exploited by oligarchs and plutocrats and corporate authoritarian tech companies and pharmaceutical companies to exploit that that freedom. And a lot of people have gotten lazy, and a lot of people have gotten complacent, and or have gotten into the victim mentality because it is so easy. You know, it's not easy. I mean, it's hard because it's like so confusing, because, you know, the United States is a really chaotic place with our, you know, our media and you know, just I think all the energy that is focused on this country because of all the vulnerabilities in it, because of the system as it was created, that allows so much corruption to actually take hold in it. It's kind of an ironic, you know, dichotomy, that with the freedom allows corruption to take hold. And so, you know, the corruption's full on now. You know, it's in our bodies, it's in our minds, it's in the air, it's in the soil, it's everywhere, you know. And it's just interesting, you know, the idea, and I'm not talking about Republicans, but the idea of the right and the left. You could say they're needed dynamics. It's like the left is, let's just say it, the left is, it's more Saturnian. It's all about government control. Like the leftism is kind of like the old way. It is. It's like the government, whether it's a king or an emperor or whatever, just tells you what you do, and then you got to do it. It's like daddy's taking care of you. Daddy decides who lives and dies. Daddy decides if you go to war or not. You know, and that's most of human history has been governed by the left, which is, and you know, yeah, obviously, but the people think that I mean, you could say it's not. I mean, it's collectivism in a lot of ways, because with numbers is power, and then you have, you know, you can overthrow other empires and things like that through war. But you know, with the advent of the, you know, America, the United States of America, and the Constitution, I feel like that is when, you know, the right kind of like made a big play, and the right is freedom. You know, the right is freedom. It's like the emperor, the king, the lord, the prince, or the president, or whoever cannot overstep their bounds than what the law of the land is, as dictated by the Constitution. So the right is kind of just has given us that. Okay, so the way I think about it is the left is Saturnian, the right is Jupiterian. So the left, that's the two dynamics, and that's funny. We got a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction 2020. Every 10 years there's a Saturn-Jupiter opposition. So in 2010 there was a Saturn-Jupiter opposition, and then around 2000, it might have been 2001, there was a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. So every 20 years there's a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, and then every 10 years there's a Saturn-Jupiter opposition. So, or every 20 years there's a Saturn-Jupiter opposition. So these two forces are constantly having to, account for each other and play off each other throughout human history. And obviously, I think a lot back then, obviously there was more chaos in a lot of ways, and that's Jupiterian. The Jupiterian is like, break-offs, of civilizations, fiefdoms, whatever, things just, cults and all kinds of things, like breaking off from the kingdom, like raids and warlords and all that kind of stuff. But yet within a working system, a lot of times that's the Saturnian element that was allowing the people to work together, the left, in a way, under the law of the land, under a paternal kind of force, I guess, the patriarchy, if you want to call it that. And that's what Saturn is. He's the father figure. He's the Dark Lord. He's not a nice guy, and he's gonna force you to obey his decrees. And you really can't do anything about it, because he's got the physical force behind him. He's got the experience, and it's like he's lived his whole life. He's the old man, and he's like, well, life is hard, and you have to do this or you're gonna die. And whereas the Jupiterian system is like, he's like sort of, and in a lot of ways it's Odin and Thor, right? So Thor is Jupiter, Odin, Saturn, and it's sort of like the priest class is kind of like Saturn. He's the priest, the high priest, and then Jupiter's the king. So, and then they play off each other. And in Jupiter, he's like a benevolent king, and he allows for business and pleasure and art and philosophy and all that free expression and thought. And that's a lot of those principles are American principles. And it's just interesting when you think about what's going on right now, with the masks and with the intersectional feminism, the critical race theory, if you want to call it that, and the conformity. We're living in, like, Saturn had made a big play in 2020, in his domicile in Capricorn. It was all the past 3 years or whatever is building up to this year. I mean, because Saturn's about business too, it's like, this is big business, what's going on this year. This is the big pharmaceutical global world order system they're trying to set up right now. And it's I think in the years past, and the rising up of the intersectional feminism, the woke college, kind of born out of the college culture, all this stuff, it's very they say inclusive, equity. It's not opportunity of equal opportunity, it's equal outcome. So like Saturn is this idea, it's an idea, but this idea of like controlling and this collectivism of forcing equal outcomes. And it's very much just a Trojan horse of divide and conquer, really, because it's impossible. You can't do that. It's communism. That's communism. Communism is equal outcome, because you just force everyone to be the same. You don't give anyone personal choice. Basically the government just tells you, okay, we're only going to let you do this so everyone's the same. No one, and then it just kind of makes everyone hate each other. And then people don't want to abide by those laws or that decree. They end up saying no, and then they end up, and then the government kills a bunch of people because they don't want to do what no one should ever want to do, which is give up all their land and their hard work and their freedoms to move about and assemble as they please. So they end up getting killed, and that's Saturn, That's the left is it's Satan, and Saturn is Satan. So it's like the left is satanic. I mean, this is just what we have to come to grips to, because it's holding us back. It kills people. It's forcing people to live in this collective system against their own will, because Big Daddy government said so, And if you think about what came up with the intersectional feminism, and what came up with these the critical race theory and the gender studies and all this stuff, it's the pronoun thing, like they, them. They want to use the pronouns of they, them, because you're not talking about him or her anymore, right? They, them is like plural. It sounds like plural. You're talking about the collective, everybody. There's no gender, there's no race, no nothing. It's just they, them, And that's one of the ways that they're programming the idea of like personal identity, personal expression is no longer a good thing. You're going to force you to use these pronouns that do not gender people, do not describe people, and that this is just. And then people start, and then it's linguistics, so it gets put in people's minds. They repeat this so much, and then they repeat it over and over in these classes, in their social circles. It goes into social media like a virus, just corrupting all these young minds that think that this is the new hip culture. It's the new way, and that's how Saturn works through corruption. It's like the mafia. And so then all of a sudden everyone's the same. Everyone's weakened. Their personal identity, their personal expression, their personal drive to do better and excel is just taken away from them. And then what's another part of this satanic shame-inducing plan? It's the mask, the face mask, because everyone starts putting the face mask on. Where's your identity? It's nowhere. You have no identity. It's been taken from you. Everyone's the same. You can't use your looks. You can't use, your facial expressions. Your personal identity is gone. The face mask has taken that away from you. Especially even when you're outside, you're forced to wear one. People just start wearing them now because they don't want to get shamed, so they're being pressured by the collective to wear the face mask. And I'm not being against the collective is great, as long as the collective is reasonable and honest. But when the collective is being exploited by a corporate authoritarian system, a fascist system, then it's just really bad. People end up falling in, and then you just not listening to themselves and their logic and reason and their own personal integrity, it's just gone. And so we're in a time now, and then everyone ends up bending to the mask. They lose their identity. They use the pronouns. And then pretty soon they're forced to wear the mask, they're forced to use the pronouns, they're forced to get the vaccine. The vaccine is the sacrament, taking on the sins of the world, basically through the unholy baptism of the vaccine. You end up being the scapegoat or the pharmacos, which I talk about in an earlier video, where they're sending, you end up becoming the sacrificial goat with the vaccine. It's because in a way it's all satanic. It's a satanic system, and there's this year. I mean, everything for hundreds of years has been a satanic ritual, but this is like the end game of the satanic ritual, is what we're going through right now. And Emperor Fauci, of course, the Faustus, he's the He's sort of the point man along with um, Bill Gates of hell, you know, he's the one opening the portal, you know. And somehow people think that they believe in science because some a billionaire tech CEO, businessman, philanthropist decided that they need to take a vaccine. It's like total bananas. Like, why do you think you believe in science if you believe in a computer programmer that's not even a programmer? You know, he's basically an opportunistic blue blood that may not even be Bill Gates at all. I mean, I don't know. Like, who even knows who these people are? I don't think Melinda Gates is Melinda Gates anymore. You could say it's Kevin Klein or somebody, but they're playing a big old sick game with us, swapping genders out, tricking us, deceiving us. It's all about deception. It's all about conditioning us into the genderless society, and it's all coming out and here's the messed up thing about intersectional feminism and all these third wave feminism. They don't realize that all this stuff is a Trojan horse to get rid of women. Serious. This is what the Satanists, they don't like women. They don't like them. They don't, and they, because they think it's inefficient and all this stuff. They want to get rid of women, and then they're gonna just start growing humans. They'll probably make some women, but they're gonna mostly just be making pod people. They're just gonna start growing humans from all of the collected genetic material they have, and they're just gonna grow people in some big center, and then it's seriously like Brave New World. You know, that's where we're going towards. 1984, Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451. They're all, David Icke talks about this. These people that wrote these books, they were connected to the elites, and they knew that this kind of stuff they were planning. They went to their schools, they hung around them, and they probably went to their creepy like secret society parties. And they learned about all this stuff, and then they end up divulging this stuff in fiction. They want to get rid of women. They don't like women, and that's why they always have, that's why they're trying to like push this idea of a transgender man is a woman. It's like totally insane. And then you end up having a bunch of women that they care more about transgender women than actual women, and then they push for like late term or afterbirth abortions and all this stuff. It's totally freaking insane. It's anti-life. It's satanic, and this is what the left is. This is what the demon-crats are. The demon rats, the demon-crats. It is sick, and they've shown now how demonic and evil they are. And I think they're please God, take these people down, because they cannot rule us. They have made people psychotic through their Hollywood magic wand, dementing people, warping their minds, calcifying their pineal glands, putting their thoughts into their mind because their own third eye no longer functions. And it's sick, you know? It's like, we need to, please. I mean, I'm voting for the first time since 2012 because this is just, it's just beyond the pale that people now, they think that Donald Trump is fascist, and to some degree maybe they're right, but the thing is he's not promoting fascism. That's what Joe Biden's doing. Joe Biden's the one promoting fascism. Joe Biden's the one who's said way more racist things and way more he said way more racist things and way more offensive things and way fucking stupider things than Donald Trump ever could. And he has like a really valid rape allegation against him. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, but they won't listen. It's like it takes hold. The spell, the Hollywood spell, gets put into their minds by these actors on the stage. Because what are actors? They're liars. We're living a time of lies and liars, and they prop up their liars. We're on the stage, on the age of Pisces. The feet are on the stage, in the water, and um, and they're propping up their actors, their minions, their liars, and their lawyers to basically um, brainwash everybody. And I can't even believe it worked. It's like it blows my mind how dumb people have gotten, and you know how they've gotten so dumb because everyone's scared. No one has any spiritual connection. No one believes in God anymore. People are like, because we've been so corrupted, and and they're corrupting, human beings in a lot of ways. The lion's share of humanity are like children. I mean, let's just face it. It's becoming readily apparent right now. And that's who is the father? It's Saturn. So they're just exploiting all these just children that they want to be taken care of. They want the government to take care of them. They want the vaccine. They want housing. They don't want to have any personal responsibility, and they want their socialist utopia, which is really going to be a hellscape that they're not going to benefit from. I mean, maybe they're going to put their consciousness in a hard drive and put them in a computer just because they don't want to live real life anymore because it's too hard. I don't really know what they want. Like their souls, the souls behind these people that have just lost a grip on reason and truth and logic. I mean, I don't know. They just want to force an end. They want to force an end because they don't think they can handle it. It's like it's like a Terminator virus has entered half of the, or more, maybe more than half of the population of the world. Because I don't know. But I think we're gonna get through it. I think it'll probably be less peaceful in the short term if Donald Trump wins in maybe multiple ways. There could be a war with China. There could be, because China's got a lot invested in this whole plan. I mean, they've shown all their cards. They've shown that they want China to be the ruler of the new world, their communist system. They pretty much have control of Australia and New Zealand and most of Europe. So it's Africa for sure. Yeah, like that's where China's putting all their energy. But it's kind of interesting. We might be in a world where it's just a divided world. There'll be the right and the left, the right leg and the left leg going up through the ages. A separate world, a separate reality. And I thank my lucky stars that we have a chance in this country to be independent and to be self-sufficient and just disconnect ourselves, decouple, I think they call it, or from the Chinese system. So we start making goods here. We start growing our food on our houses. We start, building our own solar panels using 3D printing or whatever, and we start having an independent society, a utopia based on hard work and self-accountability. I mean, I hope that's the future we have in America, but I think a lot of people don't want that self-accountability. It's like, it's too hard. It's too easy to just be part of the collective dogma, the collective ideology of intersectionalism, of victim mentality, just like children. Children want an easy way out. They don't want to do the hard work, because it's hard to learn, and you have to go through a lot of trials and tribulations and to learn things, and it's a really easy out to just believe in this dogma that's been spread, this communistic dogma. It's really just designed to kill people. It's like, you grow the population, you grow prosperity with capitalism. Yeah, it hurts a lot of people. Some people get rolled over, unfortunately. We should not do. Capitalism does not have to be that way. But really, when you think of what the part of the thing that was rolling over, like the Native Americans and Native peoples, we could have just as easily just traded with those people. But the problem is the government. The government is the one that wants to come in and get rid of them, because they're like, oh no, that's just to skid them out. And the government is always the one. They'll hire mercenaries, or they'll just have their actual army go in and kill people. It's the government that does it. Businessmen, or like a personal businessman, whether it's a fur trader or a trapper, business would make peace with the local community, with of an indigenous community. But it's always the government that fucks everything up. That's what they did. They pushed racism. Like in New Orleans, this is how jazz was created. Elite people in Louisiana that were, I mean, they call them mulatto. I know that's not politically correct now, but that's what they called them at the time. There were elite whites were interbreeding with like freed slaves, and then so these mixed race children of these people were classically trained musicians, playing cello and violin and piano, and then the government came in. They came down there and they said, "Oh, no more of this. Well, we're making it a law now that interbreeding is no longer legal, and now you basically can't hang out with white people anymore. All the mixed race blacks." And then they basically forced them just to go into the ghettos, and the poor communities were of the fully black people there, and then. I mean, and so that's what the government did. And of course, then out of that came people playing classically trained musicians mixing, now intermingling with the blues players where there was a class separation before. And out of that came jazz music, So yeah, some good stuff will come out of that, but it's always the government that is forcing this, system to exist, in which people don't have the freedom and people don't have the expression that comes with capitalism and the self-accountability, and to grow the middle class and grow the lower class. Everyone gets to grow if you just can find your way. I found a way to be self-employed until this year when they fucking shut everything down. But then, communism comes in and then just kills everybody. Oh, too many people, let's kill them all. Too many prosperous people. We want control. We can't we like everything to be clean and orderly and calcified. So they just come in, they get rid of everybody, and then of course you still have an elite class, but it's now they can't be deposed because they're the ones that make sure everything functions. And then don't worry, we're on the same level as you, proletariat or whatever. We just need these special jobs because we're it's like total joke. And I can't even believe anyone would believe that communism would ever work. It's basically a lot of people that think they're going to get power out of it, and that's people, same reason someone will throw a brick through a window, or they want that immediate power. Yes, break, smash, my rage is validated, I have power, I can hurt a person that disagrees with me, I can destroy a business that doesn't support my cause, or it doesn't even matter if it does or not, because it's still me strong. Like a little baby, stupid, deranged child. And you can do the same thing. You get power from Twitter, or Facebook, and just rage against whoever disagrees with you, because now you have all your minions around you, swarming with you. It's it's totally deranged and childish, and it must stop. And I really hope that next Tuesday, the seeds will be sown that will stop it. And I don't want martial law. I don't want anything. But if there's anything the police are supposed to do, it's protect personal property, personal business, and protect us, our physical bodies, from violence. And so if people are being violent, then they need to be stopped, and I guess that's going to have to be the job of the National Guard or whatever. And I guess so be it. I'm not looking forward to it, and I really hope that we don't keep a police state. But we're gonna have a police state probably as long as these people keep doing this shit. So we'll see what happens. Just kind of wanted to rant a little bit about this stuff on my mind, and it's still a good time. In a lot of ways, I feel optimistic about that we can get through this, even though it's the stress of like being forced, because I'm very anti-authoritarian, I'm very, very independent minded. And this is like the worst. I mean, everyone, but for me, being forced to wear a mask, being forced to silence myself, um, it's like, I don't know, it's the scariest thing ever, because it's really bringing in the age of tyranny of what we're seeing going on out there. And optimistic. I suggest anyone who happens to watch this, just pray. I pray every day. All you need to do is connect to that higher power, get right with that higher power, you know, address that higher power, because it's like metaphysics. All you have to do to gain access to metaphysics is believe it. It's not even believe it. It's just like, it just sets you free from the earthly realm. It's like the consciousness connecting to something higher, to something that can affect reality. It's basically all you have to do is connect your antenna to that reality, and then it will affect your reality. So that's basically how I mean, you could say it's like The Secret, but that's woo-woo crap, because you can only do so much. But if your intent is righteous, truthful, and honest, you can connect to that, and we can affect the matrix. We can affect this world in a positive way through prayer, through meditation, and through mindful self-accountability and spirituality. And I think there's a lot of people that are doing that right now and connecting in that way. Like, I mean, I meditated before, but I didn't start really praying so earnestly until this year. It made me really realize, like, whoa, we need help. We need help out there. So rather than just meditating this year, I really started praying deeply. And what came into my life? A beautiful girl, came into my life, and it's getting better, and I have more hope for the future now. It's in a lot of ways better than ever, but in a lot of ways it's like more dire and more stressful than ever. And I'm just but I feel blessed in so many ways, and I thank God for the blessings of this time, and that we do have a chance. We do have a chance to break through into a better future, and that this 1,000-year plan that they've been concocting, these elites, will not come to fruition, and they will be cleansed from this earth. The age of Aquarius will cleanse them, because they are the corruption. They are the ones causing the sickness, and I think that they are going to be the ones that are cleansed. And they probably will take a lot of people with them, the people that follow them, but I think those good and righteous people, those people who are truthful and honest, hardworking people, will continue on. Those spiritual people, So, anyways, that's my rant for today. That's my 2 cents, my 50 cents, I don't know how much money I put in there. It was kind of a long rant, but yeah, I think that's it for now. Peace and love forever. Brother Zygo signing out.